Hey guys, it's the 8th Android Gamer here, back with another video. In today's video, I'm going to be color sniping for Zelgius. I'm going to be dropping 200 orbs to see how many Zelgius I can get. Little disclaimer for the video though, I have already used my free summon and, well, it was Zelgius. So I've already got one Zelgius, 0 orbs spent technically for the free summon, but I'm just going to consider that part of the 200. So let's basically jump into this. Let's see what I'm going to get here. I'm basically only going for reds. I will not be pulling greens, blues, and or colorless unless I have no choice. If it comes up with, like, let's say 3 greens and 2 blues, I'll go for greens because Shiro and Morgan are the blue units in this banner. And the idea here is that if I don't pull a Shiro or a Morgan, and my pity rate will not reset, and I have a better chance of pulling Zelgius multiple times. Having already pulled him once, I would like to pull him twice more, once at the bare minimum. I think 3 out of 200, 3 units that is, for 200 orbs is fairly decent. I would hopefully prefer to have plus attack IVs. The first one I got was sadly neutral. I very rarely get neutral IVs, but did for him. If I get another one, either plus speed and minus maybe reserve and or HP, or plus attack and minus pretty much anything other than probably defense, would be awesome. Even if I was to get minus speed, it wouldn't be the end of the world because he's okay for speed, but he's not great. So he's never going to be the doubling machine. Frankly, I just need enough speed to keep people from doubling me. If he was at 30 with my summoner support and with merges, he'd get to 33. That's not terrible. It'll keep a lot of people from doubling him. Yeah, basically, with Zelgius, I'm wondering about possible builds. In my last video, on yesterday's video, I was talking about possibly going with a warding breath, a worry fighter, and probably threaten attack on and or armor march with a seal that would probably be something like heavy blade. That was one possible build, and the reason I was thinking that is because if I get a minus speed, and he's only at 33, it prevents anyone, including blade mages, from doubling me, and that's a big one, because blade mages, if it's the right color combo, if it's a red or a blue, they're probably going to kill Zelgius in one shot. If you go with Warding Breath, it's only going to hit him once, he's going to survive, and hopefully trigger with Warding Breath his Aether, and if that's the case, he is going to basically recover most of what he lost, if not all. That was kind of my thinking. With Armor March, it gives him mobility. With Threat and Attack, it basically makes it so that he is, well, he's a little tankier. Most of the time, because he can only move one spot at a time, they're going to be within range of him, or at least within range of the Threat and Attack. And that way, it just does that little bit less damage, I guess you could say, to him, and just gives him that little bit more time to basically charge up his active and then recover his health with Aether. Having talked to a couple people on Reddit and through YouTube comments and such regarding Zelgius, I admit I'm probably leaning more towards that B slot being Bold Fighter now. It's very expensive to have to give up, a Winter Lissa or a Harden. I would much prefer to give up the Lissa, but at the same time, I would be willing to give up a Harden if it's really bad IVs, because all it really is at that point is a merge into my other Harden. And I don't mind doing that if it means that he gets Bold Fighter, which comes with two charges per turn in addition to the normal the normal 2 you get for attacking. At that point, you're basically triggering his Black Luna every single time if you're doing it in Arena or wherever. And in addition to Warding Breath, he's basically just going to be using his active pretty much every single turn. So, I mean, I'm probably leaning towards going that route, and then hopefully a 33 speed-ish is enough to keep the majority of people from killing me. For my seal, I'm not entirely sure. Quick Riposte is probably the leading seal at the moment, simply because if he does manage to survive, he can double whatever attacks him the first time around, or if he's above 70%, hopefully with his active, if it's Aether, if it's Black Luna, if it's Aether, he'll be able to charge back up into range of Quick Riposte. That was one scenario. I am still also considering doing something like a third level magic missile, so that if I don't have Weary Fighter, at least Blade Mages can't they can still 2-shot, but the second shot is reduced by 80%, and that's going to be really, really helpful. So those are the two seals I'm considering now, but I have pretty much decided in throwing Bold Fighter on him when I get another Harden to spare. The only Harden I have right now is my main Harden, which already has merges on it, and I'm not going to be giving that up, obviously. So as soon as I do roll another Harden, Bold Fighter will go on to Zelgius. He'll have Warding Breath, and he'll have Armor March or Threaten Attack for his C, and then his seal will either be Quick Riposte and or Magic Missile 3. Other than that, my team, as you can see, if you've been watching the last video, I guess, um, my main team right now is basically Zelgius with a Halloween Henry as his ally support, and I have found that to be a really handy combo, actually. Henry does a surprisingly good amount of damage, as I do believe I had a plus attack IVs on him, so he's 48 attack, and then with his ally support he gets to 50. And I do have Darting Blow on him, so he gets to 56 if he attacks. I think he's got 30, 31 or 33 speed, and that is not outstanding, but it keeps most people from doubling him, and he might double some slower armor units. So those two have worked really, really well together. There's some color coverage there as well if a blue steps into Zelgius. Generally, I have Henry sitting right behind, and he can generally one-shot that blue unit. If not, definitely two. On my Henry, I also do have Breath of Life, I believe it is. Yeah, it's Breath of Life, whereby anytime he attacks, Henry that is, it will restore 7 health to my Zelgius. The reason I have that is, again, with Zelgius, 3 to 5 extra health sometimes is all the difference, because it's the difference between KO'd and basically surviving with 2 health, using your Aether if you're using Aether, and restoring like 30 health right back. It really keeps them going for a long time. I do have Henry switching between Armor March, which is on his native build, and between Fortify Armor, which is what I use sometimes. Basically, because you can switch these abilities back and forth, it's depending what I'm playing. If I'm playing something like Chain Challenge or a map that has reinforcements that come for days, generally I'm going to use the Armor, basically, or Fortify Armor, simply because it gives him that little bit extra sturdiness. He gets up to, I think, like 31 reserve if you include the ally support, and his defense gets up to near 50. In fact, I think it's 51. So he becomes incredibly tanky with all the buffs. That's generally why I'm running it that way. Now, if it's in Arena, generally I switch that out for Armor March, and I go a little bit more on the offensive. I switch out my Aether on my Zelgius for Black Luna, simply because in Arena I don't need to survive for 10 years. I just really need to get out there and take 1 or 2 units with me, maybe 3, and then take out some extras. Yeah, I mean, other units on the team at the moment, basically I'm running usually Harden, which does have a +1 merge on it. Unfortunately, both of the Hardens I got were minus attack IVs, which is just disappointing as all hell. But at the same time, he's still very, very good. I had one that was plus HP minus attack, and I had one that was plus speed minus attack. I chose the plus speed minus attack to be the main one simply because it gets him out of range of being doubled for a couple units, and the HP really doesn't do that much for me. So that unit right there, I believe, is running 47 attack natively. However, with his ally support beside him, he gets to 49. I sometimes put a seal on him that gives him, I think, +2 defense and +2 attack, which gets him into about 51 attack territory. Still not fantastic, but with him, the star of the show, I would say, is his combo of D and reserve. He's got like 32 reserve and I think 37 defense, so he's really tanky all around. Mages can't really kill him in one shot, even if they double him, they traditionally don't one shot him. And with his 37D, 39 if you're using the seal, or 40, I guess, if you just a plus defense seal, he becomes a good physical wall as well. At that point, even if he's not doing a ton of damage, again, he generally triggers Aether because he's got Bold Fighter and Steady Breath on him. So he's triggering Aether all the time, which removes half of their defense anyway and takes half the damage back as health. I find that's a really handy build, and I really wish I had a plus attack minus speed IV, because his speed's not particularly savable anyway. Might as well just push it all into attack and make him an offensive monster. That's kind of what I was hoping for. I did use a Steady Breath on him, so that was a fairly expensive build, but I think Harden is quite possibly one of the 3 or 4 best units in the game. In my mind, I think the 3 best right now are probably going to be Zelgius, Harden, and probably, I think it's Fallen, is it Robin? The Green Dragon. He is ridiculous. Every time I run into him, it's just a nightmare to deal with. He's slow on speed, but he has huge attack, huge defense, and good RZ and good reserve. So that's one unit actually. That's kind of my white whale. That's kind of the one I am looking for. That's the one I haven't pulled out of all the big ones. It's the one I want the most. It's the one I do hope to pull at some point in the near future. I should say, Harden's ally support at the moment is Shigur, or Shigure. I don't really know how that one is said. Um, I have switched a couple times and who it basically is his ally support. I have used the Black Knight at times as his ally support. I've used Sheena for a small portion as his ally support. The reason I go with Shigur or Shigure is because he's a dancer or a singer. He basically gives you an extra move, and in addition to that, if you do use the dance or sing on him, he will basically give you +4 defense and reserve, which is really, really handy for physical bulk. He's already got fantastic physical bulk, but it just makes him that much more impossible to kill. In addition to that, anytime Shigur actually makes an attack, so he's sitting behind Harden, he's going to heal whoever is adjacent to him, basically beside, in front, or behind for 7 health. Which again, same with Zelgius, it's just that little bit of extra bulk. Let's say he's sitting at 18 health. That's rather precarious. If someone attacks, if it's a mage, he's generally dead. If it's a physical attacker, depending on the color, he may be dead. That extra 7 health, a lot of the time, is the difference between surviving and getting another shot off and dying right there. So I really do like that combo right now. I'll probably switch it out at some point, but I actually am enjoying it a fair bit and will continue to use it for the near future at least. Um, so that's kind of the team I'm running right now. My main team, it's kind of a combination of armor and infantry. That's 3 armor units and 1 infantry, I should say. I do have a couple other teams. I do have my horse team, I have my flying team, and I have my standard all infantry team, which is basically my Ike with a Brave Lucina and my Shiro with a Azura, I believe it is. And that team's pretty good as well. I find that the Ike is a very traditional build, nothing fancy, nothing special about it. It's basically just it's a heavy blade combo basically. So he's got his attack, he's fairly fast, he almost always doubles. And basically the idea there is that he's going to get 2 cooldowns per attack almost always. I do have threat and attack on him so that in matchups whereby someone might have 1 less health or something, or sorry, 1 more attack, he gets that cooldown anyway. So that's a really good combo for me. It's a very standard build, nothing fancy about it. I feel that it works fairly well for most of the maps in the game. In Arena, I feel it's okay. It's nothing fantastic. I really wouldn't make that my main team. For my flying team, it's really just a combination of pretty standard units. I admit to having a fairly weak flying team. You've got Shersh on there, I think. I think you've got Tana, and you've got a couple other units. I just go for quad builds on flying generally. Nothing too fancy. My horse team is basically Sigbert and Sigurd and whatever else I decide to throw on there. I think I've got the Hera Erica, which is on a horse, and that's about it. Other than that, I guess I'll just delve into possible series I'm going to start. In fact, they're not really possible. I will be starting them. One is basically what I'm going to be calling, and this one is going to be mainly taking place in Arena, but it's going to be called probably Brothers in Arms or something, and I'm basically just going to be running 2 units, basically 1 unit and his ally support through Arena. I will be doing it at Arena 20 to see how it fares, if I can get wins at Arena 20 with half as many units as the other person. I think that's going to be an interesting series. I'm going to use my stronger units only, obviously, because if I throw a couple of just standard level 40s in, they're just going to get destroyed. I am probably going to be doing something called One Man Army. And this is something I got off a Reddit user who had considered doing it for himself, but never got around to it. I don't have his name at the moment. I will definitely shout it out in the description of that video and in probably voice when I'm doing that video. And basically, This guy was, I think I said Bronze League, and what this is it's going to be only Bronze units, level 40, taking on, high-end content, either Arena or Inferno level maps. I'm basically going to try to take on the hardest end-game content with terrible units. Another series I'm looking at is going to be called One Man Army, and One Man Army is basically going to be, as it sounds, it's going to be one unit going for as long as you can in Chain Challenge. I'm going to choose a 10 map chain challenge, and I'm basically going to have one unit go for as long as you can through 10 maps, and you're just going to see how tanky and ridiculous one unit really is. Those three series are all going to be coming out in the coming weeks, I would say, some of them more quickly than others. For the one man army, I need to get the units powerful enough to actually, accomplish something. I can't just have a normal level 40 unit going in and getting destroyed on the second map. Units I'll probably use for that are going to be my Zelgius, my Harden, my Ike might take a stab at it, although I don't think he'll do that fantastic, if I'm being honest. And those three units will probably be my first three. And as new units get released, as banner units come into my barracks, I will put more and more one-man army episodes out. So those are kind of the three series I'm looking at doing at the moment. I think they're going to be interesting series. I don't think there's too much of that already on YouTube. That way it's a little bit less, copying what everyone else is doing and or unoriginal. Again, thanks to the Reddit user who gave me those ideas. Brothers in Arms was my idea, the one where it's two people taking on Arena 20. But the other two did come from him. When I do get around to posting those videos, I will be sure to give him all the relevant credit. His name will be posted. I'll give him a shout out. As for basically the video right now, as you can see up until now, we have rolled one Zelgius in the 190 some orbs I've used. That's not great. I was really hoping to get two at least, because at that point I'm at 3 and all of his relevant stats get a boost. And hopefully I get better IVs. It doesn't look like I'm going to get it, and that's disappointing, but at the same time, it just means that before Wednesday, I've got a couple more days to accrue some more orbs and hopefully roll one more. I do very much want 3 out of this at least. So basically, this is how the video is going to go, it looks. That's my last one. Are we going to get him? I'm not feeling great about it. No, we're going to get Corn. Okay, so that's unfortunately rather standard for this. That's kind of usually what happens. You don't ever really seem to get what you want. To be fair, I guess I can't complain. I did get Zelgius on my free summon, which, that's pretty awesome. So I did end up getting 2 Zelgius out of 200 if you count the free summon, which was not on video. I did that yesterday. I wish I had been recording it, but I really did not expect to get another Zelgius out of the free summon. So basically, that's how this video is going to go. If you have any comments, please leave them below in the comment section and or in the Reddit post. I will be doing this on Reddit again. If you have any suggestions on build for Zelgius, please let me know. He's a fantastic unit. In the day that I've used him for my free summon, he's been awesome. I've been super happy. So thanks again for watching. If you